How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And before I get started, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to the YouTube family south of the border in the United States. I hope you're enjoying your day. Now let's get into the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the week. Here it comes. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom? Because the P is silent. Not too bad. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN. Of course, I want to make sure that you guys are prepared for Friday. And also, I'm going to be talking about the recent study that came out. I've gotten some questions about it, and I will discuss it in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. This is important because you want to know what it looks like in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. The reason why the short interest is important, it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and the selling behavior like on the Wednesday. We want to be prepared going into Friday. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $7.10, being down 2.87%. On the low, it tested $7.06, and then on the high, testing $7.42. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you could see we traded at 8.433 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 14.996 million shares. So we did end up having below average volume, and part of the reasons why we see more pressure on the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 40.16. And then when we take a look at the moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 21-day EMA, as well as for the 50-day, the 200-day, and the 100-day. So you can see that we have been on quite the downtrend, and on the day we ended up testing $7.06, and like I said in the previous video, this has known to be a strong area of support for OCGN, and we're seeing a continuation. Like I was saying also, in the bearish case scenario, if we do end up having a pullback, then I'll be looking to enter in the 680 range. Now, as far as for the bullish case scenario, especially going in on the Friday, you're going to want to see some price action above $7.42. If we can get above $7.42, then I want to look forward to seeing a move getting here to around the 780s, and this is going to be the strong test for OCGN to actually get past, so it could reach the 100-day around $7.94 and then make that move essentially to $8. But I do feel like OCGN will visit the $6 range, whether it happens on Friday or sometime next week. I think it is imminent, and it's part of the reasons why I'm going to continue to be patient when it comes to my overall entry. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for OCGN. Scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So as we could see here for November the 24th filing, we have POMIX T Rowe Price Total Equity Market Index Fund that purchased 22,000 shares, and we also see PEXMX T Rowe Price Extended Equity Market Index Fund that purchased 40,200 shares, and that's all that we have for the 24th. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 46.80%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 1.75 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 2.3 million, updated 24 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow free rate, it is at 1.93%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 23rd, it was at 49.38. And then for the close of the 24th, which was yesterday, it is at 46.80. So what this tells us right away, OCGN does continue to have short squeeze potential, and there is a lot of negative market sentiment around the stock. But if we have a lot of buying pressure coming in, this is where we can look forward to seeing strong moves to the upside as we've seen in the past. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we can see here on the inflow, it is at 11,077, and then on the outflow, it is at 15,213. So you can clearly see we had an outflow day. When we take a look at the breakdown, it was 0 on the large. On the medium, it was 6,506. And then on the small, it was 4,571. When we take a look at the outflow side, it was 936. And on the medium, it was 9,257. And then on the small, it was 5,020. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see on the Wednesday, it had an outflow of 935.85. So when we take a look at this breakdown even further, you can see on the Wednesday we had more selling than we had buying on the retail side by looking at the small scale orders. And then when we take a look at the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then of course, when we take a look at the large, which potentially could be institutions, we had more selling and no buying whatsoever. So now when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it is at 4.35%. So that is up there, but one thing we're aware of, we know there's a lot of traders that are going in and out of this play, and you know there's a good amount of short interest in the stock as well. So this is going to contribute to the volatility that you're currently seeing. But one thing that we did see from the order flow, there was a lot of selling that was happening. We've been seeing OCGN pulling back, testing close to that $7 level. And this is part of the reasons why when we did see on the order flow as well, there was some buying that was happening. So now let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, this stock still continues to be on a downtrend. But one thing that is very clear, it is fighting to hold up that $7 area of support. And we do have buys that are coming in regards to taking advantage of the dip. I talked about in my previous video when I will consider to start actually purchasing shares, and I'm looking for it in the $6 range. I'm not going to be buying any shares whatsoever while it's trading in the $7 range. I want to make sure I'm being very clear about that. And also, let's talk about the recent study that came out. So it's saying that as far as for Covaxin is concerned, when tested on a high risk population, so this took into consideration healthcare workers and so on, it showed 50% efficacy against the Delta variant. And then what they're actually questioning is saying, well, you know what? OCGN said that they have an efficacy of 77.8%. And then on top of that, in regards to the Delta variant, it is around 65%. But do understand, this was a controlled study on a general population. And also when Covaxin was developed, it was for the Wuhan strain. So the strain that was pretty much wreaking havoc before the Delta variant was actually rearing its ugly head. So this is one thing that you want to know and realize of the fact when that data came out, even though it was 50%, they are still fulfilling the criteria that are expected from WHO, and they're still better than other vaccines that are out there on the market. And the main reason being is there are many people who got the mRNA vaccines from Pfizer as well as Moderna, but look, they've had to come out and make boosters due to the fact because the Delta variant has been wreaking havoc. So this is why in regards to how I'm feeling about Covaxin, I am still confident in it. And I still feel like it is an effective vaccine, and WHO does feel the same way, else they wouldn't have approved it or given it the EUL in the first place. So that's just one thing I want to make sure that I clear up, because there's a lot of FUD that is out there. So just to kind of go over that again, they showed that they had 65% effectiveness against the Delta variant in a controlled study in the general population. Now with the new data that came out, it is showing 50% effectiveness against the Delta variant, but the population that was tested or a part of that study was in a high-risk population, which included healthcare workers that were pretty much deep in the environment of where the Delta variant was wreaking havoc. So this is why I am not concerned. But in regards to the Wuhan strain, we already know as far as those numbers that were given to us from Bharat Biotech, it looks good. It's been thoroughly studied and so forth, and it has been peer reviewed as well. So overall, in general, Covaxin still remains to be one of the strongest vaccines out there in regards of fighting the Delta variant. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, one thing that is very clear, OCGN does continue to have short squeeze potential, but you're going to need to have a strong catalyst that is coming into this play to move this stock up. We've seen this on many different occasions already, and that's one thing I want to make sure you understand before even thinking about taking a position. And this is why you have to do your homework and do your due diligence. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.